The lake cabin had always been our family's refuge. My wife and I built it with our own hands 20 years ago, and now it was time for it to shelter someone else. Our son, coming home after a year deployed overseas. We drove up that crisp morning with a trailer full of his gear, footlockers, duffel bags, even a handmade wooden chest his unit gave him. All of it carried sweat and sand, but it was coming home. We had just started unloading when a golf cart screeched to a stop on the road. Out hopped Karen, HOA president and self-appointed dictator of the lakeside community. "What's going on here?" she snapped. "You can't just dump things out here without HOA approval." I set a footlocker down. "This is my property, Karen. We're moving our son's belongings in before he returns from deployment." She wrinkled her nose. "Military gear? It looks awful. This neighborhood has standards." My wife turned slowly, eyes like ice. "Those standards mean nothing here." 10 minutes later, as we carried the second load inside, I noticed Karen parked down by the road on her phone. I figured she was venting on Facebook. Then, 15 minutes after that, sirens. 2 sheriff's cruisers rolled up. Deputies stepped out with their hands resting on their belts, confused. "Got a call about a possible break-in," one said. I just stared. "You have got to be kidding me." I pointed to Karen, still on her phone. "She called you because we're moving things into our own cabin." The deputies sighed. "Mind if we see some ID?" We showed our driver's licenses and I handed over the deed, our names clear as day. Then my wife walked up with a box in her hands, dust on her jeans, and said, "And if you need more proof, those boxes belong to Sergeant First Class Daniels, our son. He comes home next month. We're preparing his cabin." The deputies froze. One of them took a step back, pulled off his hat and said, "Ma'am, thank your son for his service. And sorry you had to deal with this." Then they both turned on Karen. "Ma'am," the taller deputy said, "you just made a false report. Waste of county resources. Do it again and you'll be cited." Karen stammered. But the HO, this property," he said firmly, "is not under the HOA." The deputies left. Karen stayed. That was her mistake. I'd been patient with her for years, ignoring her flyers and empty threats, but calling 911 on us, dragging law enforcement into a family moment. She had crossed a line she couldn't uncross. I spent the next 2 weeks pulling every record from the county. And what I found? Gold. The HOA had been using a right-of-way easement across a corner of my land for decades. An easement that was due for renewal this spring. I let it lapse. Then I fenced it off. Without that easement, the HOA lost access to their community center, their dock storage, and their own maintenance shed. When the lock went on that gate, Karen herself came marching up. "You can't do this." I handed her a single page. "You called the cops on my family. You made our son's homecoming harder than it already was. So yes, I can. And I have." She read the notice, and the blood drained from her face. Effective immediately, all HOA traffic, services, and access across my property is revoked. Violators will be prosecuted for trespass. That lake has been quieter than it's been in 30 years. Our son comes home in a week. His cabin will be ready. And the HOA? They can sit on the other side of that locked gate and think about what respect really means. Sometimes, banning the HOA isn't revenge. It's justice.